And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't apologize. Don't apologize.
During a truly honest moment, Taraji P. Henson showed that fighting the good fight takes its toll. During a Sirius XM interview for The Color Purple, Gayle King asked Taraji about her recent comment that she might give up acting.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over.
As Taraji trends right now, Gabrielle Union is one of those sisters who is backing Taraji up, tweeting, "Not a damn lie told. Not a damn lie. We go to bat for the next generation and hell, even our own generation and above. We don't hesitate to be the change that we all need to see, and it takes its toll on your mind, health, soul, and career if we're keeping it 100%. Love you, Taraji P. Henson."
I get that.
It wears on you, you know?
Taraji went through years of being a struggling, hustling actress. For the first 5 years of her career, she would have been in that 87% of SAG members who didn't make $26,000 a year.
I hear people go, you work a lot. Yeah. I'll have to. The math ain't mathin'.
The next 4 years were more of a struggle. She got paid scale for a 2005 indie that had a budget of $2.8 million.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the real.
From me, the performance that just stands out is Hustle and Flow.
For the Cadillacs and gas money spent will cause a
Your quote should have shot up after that. Did your quote shoot up after that?
No, it did not.
Come on, Ellen, you know better than that. Ellen got paid half of what Patrick Dempsey did when Grey's Anatomy first started.
The industry knew I was talented. I mean, you know what I mean? They got that part. But it's about money. It's about, are you bankable? Can you open a film?
And yeah, the box office reality for Taraji at that point was that she was fourth billed in a movie that made $23 million. In 2008, she got offered The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
When you're first starting, you have to build up to a quote.
Yes.
So me and my team felt like we had finally gotten to this place where I could ask for $500,000. That's all we were asking for.
Right.
Wouldn't do it. They did $100,000 is what they offered right away. And then I was gutted. When it was all said and done, I got $150,000.
Uncle Sam takes 50%. So that leaves me with 75 now, right?
Yep.
Then I have to pay another 30% to my team who did all the work to get me that job.
Yes.
So I don't pay them 30% of the 75. No. I pay them 30% of the 150 that comes out of my 75. So what does that compute to? Okay.
So Taraji actually pocketed $25,000, and I included that story because of the breakdown that Taraji goes through. Now, I don't think Taraji was, criminally underpaid for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I do think 150 was too low, but I do think 500,000 was too ambitious. Taraji hadn't proven to have any kind of box office, draw at that point. She had the fourth biggest role. Taraji said it was 5 months of work, and the filming of that movie was 6 months. Taraji had 16 minutes of screen time, which is about 10% of the overall film's running time. Cate Blanchett didn't arrive on set till month 3 of that movie. So at best, being generous, Taraji was on set for 2 months. And yeah, to pocket $25,000 is certainly, decent, for sure. Now, Taraji did have marquee billing on her next movie, the indie Not Easily Broken, alongside Morris Chestnut, which made $10 million on a $5 million budget. Not exactly a moneymaker. And then she starred in Tyler Perry's I Can Do Bad All By Myself.
He was the first person that broke the standard that I was getting paid for films, and he gave me $500,000.
And that was a hit, making $51 million on a $19 million budget. It's after that hit, and looking at Taraji's filmography that followed that, that's where I see something's off. Taraji didn't have her next leading role in film until 2014, 5 years later. No Good Deed with Idris Elba, which ended up being another hit. It made $54 million on a budget of 13. Hollywood wants more movie stars. They want bankable actors. And so when someone shows a little bit of potential, they'll test it out.
I understood the game. I know that I can't make as much as a certain person that's been in the game longer than me, has proven box office success. I'm proving myself still.
But Taraji's never given her shot, never tested out as a box office star, even though she was showing that promise.
And I don't like to harp on how bad it's been for me. It hasn't been bad. I've worked. I've worked and I have a great body of work. But the only narrative that I wish I could change is my money. It's almost like they want this incredible performance for a discount price.
And then Taraji was cast in Empire in 2015 alongside her Hustle and Flow co-star Terrence Howard, but was way behind in terms of the number on the paycheck.
I don't want to discredit this man's work because he did have a hell of a resume. He's been doing this much longer than me. And yes, he was the star of a television show. So, you know, I gave him that credit.
Taraji says that, but then I looked at Terrence Howard's filmography up to that point, and yeah, there's not much difference between his and Taraji's resume at that point. Like, I mean, the only difference really is the fact that he was in Iron Man in 2008, 7 years prior. Taraji had more TV experience, so yeah, there really shouldn't have been much of a pay disparity before that show started.
But see, when Cookie popped off that page and all those tweets were about Cookie, I said, it's time to renegotiate. Can everybody sit down at the table, please?
Right. Good for you. Yes.
Yeah, but it still was a struggle.
There was no denying that Taraji as Cookie was the reason that show increased in viewership each week following the premiere and ended up being the highest rated scripted series on TV that year.
And then when Cookie started rising, I was like, no, give me my credit.
While Taraji got her TV raise, she now had that rare opportunity to break barriers. Like, I mean, there's a handful of black actresses who have gotten to the level that Taraji has gotten to, which is very sad, but it's true. So now she could, actually, change Hollywood.
I still want to do movies and open films. So that was always a drive.
At 46 years old, Taraji headlined Hidden Figures, which grossed $169 million in North America, and The Very American Story grossed another $66 million internationally for a gargantuan $235 million worldwide.
And then
And
they
it's
tell
so
me we
glamorous,
don't
yes.
translate overseas.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing that my entire career, 20 plus years in the game, and I hear the same thing.
After proving that mentality wrong, Taraji continued to be the figure that defied the Hollywood system. And this is the period that I'm shocked that Taraji didn't get $5 million per movie.
I want to prove that a woman over 40 can do action films. Proud Mary.
That same year, Taraji reteamed with Tyler Perry on Acrimony, another decent hit, making $46 million on a $20 million budget.
A woman over 40 can do television and features, whether rom-com.
What Men Want in 2019 made $72 million on a $20 million budget. Also that year, Taraji sat down with El Pompeo for Variety's Actors on Actors series, and she said a lot of the same things that she said in the SiriusXM interview, but the tone is very different.
So I had to continuously prove that, and it's like I've just been trying to prove it and prove it. That's why I've worked so hard, because it's like I haven't proved it yet. Okay, let me go back to the drawing board, you know.
And I can see why, because the following year, in April 2020, Empire ends after 6 seasons, and that of course is when the world, came to a standstill with COVID. But I mean, deals were still happening. And Taraji's phone was not ringing.
6 years on Empire, and then you kind of, you're doing movies here and here and there.
And then I stop.
And then you stop.
Nothing.
In February 2021, she was optimistic that things were on the horizon.
Once this pandemic is over, or we get back to some sort of normalcy, not sure we'll go all the way back to normal, I know that I'm going to be busy. I won't have a moment.
But yeah, in the 3.5 years since Empire, she did Annie Live in December 2021, voice work in 2 animated films, and now she's finally back on the big screen in The Color Purple. Even without getting into the size of her paycheck, that tells you that something's off. Like, she even had to audition for The Color Purple.
Well, what was the pushback?
Well, first of all, it's exactly what you're saying, T. It was like you were never here.
And it's no secret that Warner Brothers did not want this movie to star Taraji P. Henson, Fantasia Barrino, and Danielle Brooks.
Knowing how hard they fought to not have you all here, and knowing how hard we had to fight to ensure that.
And look, when it comes to Fantasia and Danielle, I get that. I mean, this movie has a budget of $90 to $100 million. I mean, you want bankable movie stars. This is Fantasia's first movie, and Danielle's movie work is like, she's done bit roles in little scene movies. Like, I wouldn't want to, bet $90 million to $100 million on those two. Absolutely not.
Oh, Miss Seeley, you look good.
So Taraji's big screen experience meant she got top billing in the trailer and the poster.
Now it's okay. And I see what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bed, you don't have any money. They play in your face. And I'm just supposed to smile and grin and bear it and just keep, enough is enough.
Like, Warner Brothers didn't want her for this role, so they clearly lowballed her for the supporting role, but then they're going to turn around and use her name first in the marketing? Like, I mean, the top build doesn't get $5 million for a movie that has a $90 to $100 million budget?
It seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I get that.
So, like I said, Taraji didn't say anything new in the SiriusXM interview, but this is the first time she showed the emotion and showed the toll that it takes. Like, she told The Hollywood Reporter earlier this month, sometimes I get tired of fighting because I know what I do is bigger than me. I know that the legacy I leave will affect somebody coming up behind me. My prayer is that I don't want these black girls to have the same fights that me, Viola, Octavia, we are out here thugging it out. Otherwise, why am I doing this? For my own vanity? There's no blessing in that. I've tried twice to walk away, I guess now a third time, but I can't. Because if I do, how does that help the ones coming up behind me? Octavia Spencer shared the Sirius XM clip of Taraji on Instagram and wrote, I'm sad to see Taraji so visibly upset. As much as I hate it, this is what it comes down to, and I support her vocalizing our plight. I've had numerous conversations with fellow actresses during rigorous negotiations, mine and theirs, to remind each other of our bona fides. Sometimes we lose sight of who we are and need help adjusting our crowns as we fight for parity in pay. I am fortunate to have a fierce team behind me, but I have to shout out some who have advocated for me. And she names people like Jessica Chastain, Viola Davis, Taraji, LeBron James, Melissa McCarthy, Jada Pinkett Smith, Steven Spielberg, Gabrielle Union, Forrest Whitaker, and Reese Witherspoon. We have to use our voices to help each other and advocate for change across all industries to be the change we want to see. Bravo, Taraji. Yeah, sadly, Taraji has to fight for all black actresses. Like, I mean, she should be getting $5 million a movie. She's not. Even after a fight, she's not getting $5 million.
What is that telling me?
What is it telling me? Yeah. And what does it tell me? Yeah.
You know?
So that means, 5 years from now, when a black actress is negotiating their salary for some movie, Warner Brothers can say to them, well, you don't have the level of success that Taraji P. Henson had at this point in her career, and we only paid her $2 million for The Color Purple, so then they're going to pay that person $1 million. So yeah, that's why Taraji has to fight as much as she can, but it's exhausting.
But you can't give up on your dreams. Even in the darkest hour, you gotta be the light in the darkness.
So yeah, Taraji has to keep fighting. And what I like about this is that, we usually only hear about, the end, you know what I mean? And a Lifetime Achievement Award, like you're hearing all the fights she went through and she talks about it with a smile on her face. Like, this is the struggle. Like, this is what it is. Day in and day out, she has to go sit in the boardroom and fight for her salary. Day in, day out. And so, yeah, it's emotionally exhausting. And draining. And I'm happy that she showed, the effect that it has. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know. Don't apologize. Don't apologize.